By the time Atari figured out who to blame, it was too late. On the 5th of November 1991, Robert Maxwell disappeared over the side of his yacht, leaving a company ridden in unseen debt and £440 million missing from the corporation's pensions fund.
After Mr. Maxwell disappeared, and it was like a house of cards that just sort of crumbled to the ground, and everything that we thought we were looking to as indemnification and safety was basically non-existent.
As Atari's fortunes continued to wane, Nintendo went from strength to strength. Tetris was key to the success of Game Boy, which has sold 70 million worldwide. But despite all that happened to his game, as the 80s drew to a close, Alexey Pajitnov had yet to receive anything from Tetris. He was still working at the computer center.
К сожалению, владельцем программы, в то время это был Советский Союз, еще раз подчеркиваю, в общем, был вычислительный центр, поэтому особых доходов с этой работы Леша и не рассчитывал получить.
Даже вот Пажитному заплатить хорошую премию мы были не в состоянии. Эти цифры надо было согласовывать с руководством, с президиумом Академии наук.
But the fame that Tetris had brought Alexey meant that he could aspire to life beyond the computer center.
After the Tetris success, I don't want to be very much involved in pure scientific stuff. I realized that games might be a very big part of my activity as well.
In 1991, with help from his friend Hank Rogers, Alexey was offered the opportunity to move with his family to the United States. Here lay the promise of taking control of his own destiny and that of the games he developed.
His wife had been to the States before. When she came back, they asked her, and she tried to explain, and she could do nothing except cry. She just couldn't find the words to describe the difference, what they were missing in this whole culture.
Alexey settled in Seattle, where he established a company to develop games and technology. But his American dream was not all he had hoped for.
Basically, I need to make money to support my family. I wasn't that rich to just sit there and do nothing. So I could say that first couple years were very challenging in the United States.
In 1996, Alexey gave up working for himself and joined that great American institution, Microsoft, where he now has a staff job.
They hired me just to make games. I feel myself a really strong and experienced game designer at this point. I don't have any kind of internal contradictions or tendencies, so I understand that I'm staying in my place and doing my job and fulfill my mission in life.
When the original set of rights expired in 1996, Alexey began to receive some royalties from Tetris, if only a fraction of what he could have made if born into a different system.
You always could make a little bit more than you made. But I never seriously think about this stuff. I live as I live.
Alexey regularly returns to Moscow and thinks about moving back for good. But the city that gave birth to his game is no longer the place it was. Global capitalism has come to town. The same forces that enabled Tetris to conquer the free world have left the institute where it was nurtured far behind.
Институт наш стареет. Средний возраст у нас сотрудников 50 лет. И я боюсь, что институт лет через 10, если так будет продолжаться, вообще погибнет, вымрет по старости, без хорошей молодой поддержки.
The average monthly wage of $200, deemed so respectable in Soviet times, can't compete with the lure of private institutions and foreign firms.
Вы знаете, в России самая распространенная стратегия – это стратегия на авось. Она часто нас выручала. Во время войн поначалу мы проигрывали, поначалу у нас было безнадега. Любая другая страна, наверное, была бы разрушена и погибла. А Россия как-то выкручивалась и как-то находила варианты для выживания. Я надеюсь, что здесь что-то будет такое же.
Now, Tetris is set to conquer the world once again. This time on the mobile phone.